Hey, everybody, Reverend Rob here. Stick around. I've got Laura Van Tyne. She's back. We're talking demons, darkness, and about your soul. So don't miss it. This is Tarot with an Attitude, featuring your host, tarot consultant, and spiritual medium, the Reverend Rob Lee. Hey, everybody, it's Reverend Rob here. Stick around. I've got Alex Bynum, who's a spiritual guide, professional healer, and we're going to talk about the empowering path. Don't miss it. This is Tarot with an Attitude, featuring your host, tarot consultant, and spiritual medium, the Reverend Rob Lee. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Tarot with an Attitude. I am your host, the Reverend Rob Lee, spiritual consultant, spiritual medium, tarot consultant, and wow, bangarang. Wow, we got a great guest today. Alex Bynum is a spiritual guide and professional healer who owns and operates Empowering Path with 2 locations in Waltham, Massachusetts, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Ta-da, that's where I live. Passionate about transformation, she facilitates ancient healing modalities that have been around literally since the dawn of time. They have been used by Mother Theresa, Einstein, Vinci, and the like. Alex has no doubt that anyone can achieve self-mastery using these time-tested techniques that have only been available probably to the public for the past 27 years. Alex has worked with thousands of students over the last decade and plans on working with many, many more. So without further ado, I am going to bring Alex in. So welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. You know, Alex, you and I met at where I was doing tarot readings or whatnot, and you told me something interesting. You had never done a tarot reading until that time.
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow. What made you sit down there and go, hey, let's talk to this big ugly guy and see what he's doing?
I just try to listen to my gut and to my guides, and I saw your energy, and I said, "Well, what's he offering? I want to see what that's about." So I usually, I'm very particular with who I let work on me, but there was something about your energy that was very inviting, and I was like, "This is going to be a good reading," and it was.
Well, good. I'm glad, and I appreciate it. So, you know, Alex, your gig is the empowering path. Tell me what that means. Tell me how to help me.
Yeah. So Empowering Path, the name of it is based off the ancient pathway of Know Thyself. So it's a set of activations and initiations, a path that you walk, if you will, for empowerment and for really knowing yourself, which can be the beginning and end of all spiritual development. So
Absolutely, absolutely, and you know, I love that because so many people are asking so many questions now, and people are starting to lose the whole. You know, for years, I'm much older than you are. You know, people have said I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but when you ask them to define that, they really couldn't. Now they're really understanding that actually means something. And some of them are lost and they're looking for help, looking for guidance in the whole world coming in. So I appreciate you doing what you're doing. Now, one of the things you talked about, and I asked you to tell me a little bit about what you do, you know, so we have this ancient mystery school,
mhm.
okay? So, what's the difference with this ancient mystery school and other spiritual work?
So what I love about the ancient mystery school is that it's tried and it's proven, right? It's a proven system for being able to transform and basically eliminate the negative ego. So we're talking ancient mystery schools date back like 8,000 years to Hermes. They
Okay.
used to not even we say in written form it's written back to King Solomon. Um, but what I love about it is, this is, a pathway that you can walk to know yourself. A lot of times, ancient mystery schools have been hidden underground. They weren't necessarily available to the public. And so, what's cool about this mystery school is that it's been open to the public for 27 years. So, it was just something I happened to find out of desperation in my 20s and started training in it. So now I'm in a different space than I was 11 years ago. But this you know, this ancient mystery school, it's rare to find, and it's really powerful activations and initiations to help a person to grow.
Okay. So, all right. So, like we both do spiritual work. I do counseling, things like that, and I do a lot of spiritual counseling stuff. What's the difference, though, in the ancient mystery school? Help me understand ancient mystery school a little more. You don't have to give everything away, but some type of example where ancient mystery school would differ from what the nowadays person would think of as spiritual work.
Sure. So, I guess the main piece of the ancient mystery school is the initiation. And so there is an initiation that literally anchors your higher self at this time. So I don't even consider myself, you know, a counselor, a therapist. It's like, no, I can offer you this initiation that will help you with your counseling, that will help you with whatever you're walking through. And that initiation will anchor your higher self. So there's actually very ancient photos of this initiation, and it's still being facilitated today.
Okay, so you are literally letting the person help themselves.
Correct.
That you're
Right.
letting them find their own path because what may work for me may not work for you, vice versa, blah blah blah.
Right.
So
Yep.
in this old, really ancient form, the mystery school is literally where we go back to healer, heal thyself, that type of thing and beyond. So what are some of the results you have seen with your clients?
I've seen pretty crazy results. You know, I've had a client that was, you know, homeless, and now she's the making six figures and the manager of a Lexus dealership. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of women that really wanted to have like a baby that, you know, found that after initiation. I found a lot of people really have relationship, that desire for partnership. And their love life really can shift a lot after that initiation as they, you know, bring in that light. We say it brings in 10 times more light,
Okay.
to the energy structure. And so you're, you know, a walking flashlight, which attracts different things to you.
Having done a lot of marriage counseling, couples counseling, things like that, or whatnot, when I was licensed with the state of Florida, one of the things, and I am no longer licensed. I like doing my own thing. Kind of, I think that's where you kind of went, or whatnot. Um, but one of the things I hear when I talk to people, this whole relationship thing has become so important to younger people
Mhm.
that it is. I don't know what they feel like they're failing if they're not having, or do you find that to be true? If they're not in some type of relationship, like they're not complete without being in a relationship with another person?
Absolutely. I feel like the game has changed, and what relationships once were, they're not now. And relationships are, you know, really based on, um, I don't know what people are basing their relationships on these days, but everyone seems to be looking for that divine partner.
Well, and what's funny is I was doing some reading and meditating the other day, and I read something really right along the lines of this, and I had no idea where fixing to go here. When we're trying to define love, everybody's told they need to have love, they need to find love, they need to do whatever. But I don't think a lot of people anymore know what love actually is. And I heard that love is true love. We are now associating a lot more with sexuality, which
Mm.
is not love. If we look more at the Taoist point of view, Buddhist point of view, that's just the physicality of
Right.
pleasing self. All right.
Mhm.
Love rises farther above that.
Of
And
course.
and I think that's where people are lost. And I used to get a lot of people, when I was doing my show year and a half, 2 years ago, and I was live all the time. I would constantly get these young ladies and young men and going, does she love me? Do they are? Where do they go? And I'm like, that's why I had to tell them I was not going to answer them anymore, because what you're looking for is a cheat card. You're
Mhm.
looking to not experience life. And we got to get back to remember what dating's all about. Going
Right.
out, it's not about jumping into bed and having sex and going, is the sex good enough? So I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. It's what are they like 6 months from now, a
Yeah.
year from now? And
Yeah. I've heard someone, it's not about test driving the car and then making a decision, right? It's like,
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love
that's
that.
my generation is really, I think the ball has been dropped because everybody's just trying to get something, right? They're just trying to get something, whereas love is much higher than just what can I get from this. We do end up receiving, but it's not really about that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's the commitment piece is missing, but yet everybody wants all the ultimate relationship. So it's a little bit weird.
Exactly. And one of the things when you're working with people, do you find, and then they do become, one of their main goals is relationship, and you help them go through this initiation process. Is it because they've learned to love themselves first that they're then able to find love? Or what do you think that is behind this initiation when somebody's looking for that special someone?
I think it relates to the Hermetic principle, which says, as within, so without. So, whatever's happening in my inner world is going to happen in my outer world. And so, when you receive that 10 times the light from initiation, then of course your outer world has to change because your inner world is completely different. So I see, somebody chooses to, or, somebody really has to choose that initiation. Their inner world completely shifts. And then of course their outer world shifts too. So that next partner or that next person, um, you know, comes, comes in, comes at a different frequency to them.
Okay. And that's interesting. But what I'm hearing is some type of change has to occur.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And whether it's first internal and then external or whatnot. And I do believe a lot of that with people is that internal shift has to happen and some action has to be taken. And I get so pissed off about this whole manifestation thing or whatnot. You can sit and dream and wish and mutter all the incantations you want. However, if you don't take some action, it's still dreaming and wishing. Okay.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to go slay the giant on the first day, but take a step. If you want to buy a house, have you even sat down and done a budget? Have you talked to a real little small steps in the first thing of manifesting is important. So, you know, when you thought about this, okay, and you said, there's something here, because I want to ask why you became a healer, because I know why I started Tarot with an Attitude a long time ago, a group and things like that, was back in 2016 when it first started, because all the negativity, and then in 2020, everything blew up, election, all the other crap and everything. I want people just to have a place to come and not be negative.
Mm.
So that led me kind of started down this path. What led you? Why did you decide to kind of skirt what the mainstream counselor thing would do and become a healer?
Like all good healers, I had a lot of resistance in the beginning. I ran away from it. But I tried so many things in my past to make the world a better place, and I just didn't feel like I was having the impact I wanted to have. And then, of course, as I wasn't having the impact I wanted to have, my own personal issues were seemed to be getting stronger, and that's what I was talking about. I created this like point of desperation where I was willing to try going to a healer, which led me to, oh, this is even a possibility. Like I had no reference point for what a healer was. I'm from Tennessee. It's not very common down there.
I hear
Um,
you.
yeah, so it was, going to a healer was very outside of my box, and I had a lot of resistance to doing it. But, once I got into that place of desperation, seeing the world as it was and seeing myself as I was, it was just time to move forward.
Okay. What's your favorite part when you go into healing? What is your favorite part of that process?
I think it's the decision that someone has made to heal, honestly. It's like
Okay.
when someone comes in the door and they want they want or they've made a choice to work on themselves, or they found the courage within to say, I want something better. That's always been like very inspiring to me, before I facilitate these processes. So
That makes total sense because I know one of the things when I'm working with somebody, it's that it's kind of the forked approach. One of the first things that lights me up is when I know the words I'm getting are from spirit, from the universe, in that, and I get it because I get out of my own head and let basically I start channeling spirit or whatnot. And I know the words that come out could not have come out any better, not because of me, because I allowed something to flow through me. And then watching the lights come on to somebody and going, okay, they just got a glimmer.
Mm.
Um,
I experienced that during your tarot reading. I saw that happen
oh,
where,
really?
yeah, where like your soul lights up because my soul lit up.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, it is. And you notice I babble a lot. I start talking and talking, but then it's kind of like I got to climb out of my head. And then things just, man, when we get out of our own way, things really come together, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I feel like the path, the spiritual path for anybody is, can you get out of your own way? You know?
That's pretty heavy. I like that. I like that. So when you talk about these different initiations, so there are different initiations for different things.
Yes, there are. So depending on, there's different levels of initiation depending on, how far on the path you want to walk, what calls to you. The first initiation is really about yourself and your own life. The second initiation is really about, well, no, this isn't just about me. I want to start like serving other people. Um, there's six initiations, but those are the um, main two I would mention today.
Okay. All right. And I think that's funny that the first one is about self, because I'm always preaching about self-care. If we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't help the people we want to help eventually if we allow their crap, to drive us into the hospital or whatnot. But the second being, what can I do for other people? And folks, I don't know. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm not talking about a life of servitude. I'm talking about understanding that when I walk into a restaurant, okay, if I'd had an argument with my Uber driver or whatnot, if I carry that into that restaurant, that's what I'm exuding, and I'm failing at what I'm here for, to heal. It's that being able to step out. And I want to tell people, healers, we got bad days too, guys. We get pissed off. We got emotions just like you do. But it's being able to realize I'm letting this go away. I'm letting this get out of control. All right. And step back for a minute and find that place where we can go from, what? Now I'm channeling the light, because that's what, before I walk through that door, I need that light to shine forth and people to see that. Does that make sense, or am I babbling again?
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's like, the gift of healing is the pause before you respond. So, something happens and rather than the knee-jerk reaction, like, wanting to cuss someone out or wanting to getting very angry, it's like, that pause, is where the gold is before that next response.
Absolutely. So I mean, that I wish I could explain more about healing to people, because it is, a lot of them are like, well, you've got your problems. Yeah, I do. Okay. But you don't see a doctor. They will treat themselves for some minor things. You and I know some practices when we're just out of whack or whatnot. We have different things. It's like a doctor knows the healthy things to do for his own life. But when he's having a gallbladder problem, he doesn't sit there and try to operate on his old gallbladder. He goes and finds somebody else. And there are times I will read cards for my direction, but if I'm too close, I will get my wife to read those cards. And then if I feel she's too close or having problems, I have my dear friend Bridget, who's with Eyes of the Dragonfly. She's out in Florida. I'll pick up phone, call her. Hey, I need a reading. What do you want me to talk about? Let's just throw the cards and see what happens and see what comes up, because you need that other aspect. And folks, healers need healing too.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
you know, don't be so ready to cast to fire an arrow at somebody because they're not living their best moment and they're a true healer. You know,
Right.
even Jesus, used bullwhip, drive people out of temples. That's temper.
He
Yeah,
flipped some tables in his day.
yeah, he did, didn't he? He did. Oh, he'd tell people about their butt, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, one of the things I want you to tell is, how do people get hold of you? And everybody, all this will be in the description below. So make sure you look. You will find Alex's links down there. She's very easy to talk to. We kind of hit it off right off, and been thinking, we might need to start a healing corner on Tarot with an Attitude. Maybe once a month we can do something solely based on healing, so people can see it and move on to it. But how do they get hold of you, Alex?
I think the easiest way is just my website, empoweringpath.com. And there's a little box there on the main page where you can, send me a note and say you'd like to chat. And I do a free consult. And that's usually the easiest way for people to get in touch with me.
Cool. Now I noticed you do have two locations. Everything's not online. You said you had, what was it, Waltham and Portsmouth, right?
Yes, so my sessions are mostly in person. There are a
Okay.
few things I can do distance wise, but I work mainly out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then a couple days a week I'm in Waltham, Massachusetts.
Okay, that's cool. Do you ever use crystals, or I mean, whatnot, in your process, or does crystal energy? Because I noticed once you talked about frequency, things like that. Does do you use those in any of your processes?
I do the activation. We talked about initiation. There's activations that use crystals. There's crystal readings, there's crystal dreaming, there's crystal healing, there's crystal gridding, which is how to grid a room. Uh,
Yes.
so I'm trained in all those things as well. I love crystals. I work with crystals all the time.
Cool. Yeah, my wife's a certified crystal healer. She does a lot.
Oh,
And,
awesome.
as you can see, I didn't pick this stuff. I can't remember all this stuff.
You're
I
good.
know my
I'll go.
lapis when I see it. I know my amethyst when I see it. And
Yeah.
I've got different things, and I can spot the, uh, oh,
So
what am I, my brain just went blank.
that's okay. That's okay. I can
Uh,
see that you're decked out over
the
there.
karmic centers, those different stones, things like that, root, things like the chakras.
Chakras.
Thank you. Yeah. But like, I still try to learn horoscope stuff. And I guess it's just my old brain. It's like, at some point it comes on overload. So I put all kinds of stuff up, and I tell people I'm very open and honest about it.
Yeah.
So I might need to come see you about CRS, or short-term memory. You know what CRS is? Yeah. Okay. For those of y'all that you know. All right. And going through it. So let me ask you this. Is there something else you'd like for people to know about you, what you do, or anything else before we're out of here?
That's a great question to ask. I would just say, I'm very humbled by what I do. I know that you're very humbled by what you do. I really appreciate being on this podcast. And, in order to help someone, you really only have to be one step in front of them to pull them up.
Wow,
So
that's a great analogy. I'm going to steal that one.
please do.
Woo.
So yeah, I'm really honored to have helped as many people as I have, and I just look forward to more, and I love meeting other healers. So thank you.
You are welcome. Everybody, again, Alex Bynum. Check all our information out. You are going to want to talk to this young lady. If you just, I know some of you are like, I can be a little intense, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. I guarantee you, Alex is not like me. She's not going to tell you you're being an ass. Okay. She will come at you very soothing or whatnot. And that's good. We need all kinds. But really, if you got a question, she said a consultation's free. Reach out to her, talk to her, find out what's going on. Okay. Because don't be afraid to look for something outside the box. All right. Because what we're finding out, and this is part of people, I hate using waking up and all that, because now it's been confused with woke and all that crap.
Oh
All right.
boy.
But becoming aware, let's use the term becoming aware, getting into our consciousness, that healing is not a one size fits all thing. Okay. And different people have different things. And even in addictions, I did a lot of work in addictions. And yes, I might have dealt with 30 people in a day that were
Wow.
all using heroin, but it doesn't mean they got there the same way. The reason they were using it was the same, and the reason they're staying on it is the same. So,
Wow.
folks, give Alex a shot. Give her a dial, a ring, whatever you want to say, reach out to her, however it is on the on her website and whatnot. So, and Facebook was the biggest way, right?
Facebook or Instagram, it's empowering paths on both. So
there you go. There you go. So I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Alex, thank you. I appreciate it. I want us to stay in touch. I would like for us to maybe look at doing a healing corner or something like that. We'll talk about that some other time. But with all that being said, everybody, remember, take what you want, leave what you don't, but leave having experienced some peace, love, and light. Banger! This is Tarot with an Attitude, featuring your host, tarot consultant and spiritual medium, the Reverend Rob Lee.